Got a motion, all in favor say aye.
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 Thanks.
Go ahead, come on up.
Oh my gosh.
She's licking it now.
Staying out master outfit. Dan Kendall, project manager,
Ashley Ford, maintenance technician.
here for our monthly update. The big thing since we've seen you last was snow removal. We had our first 2 snowstorms, and Adam hooked us up with access to a security camera so we can watch from home if it's snowing or not. If it is, we're here at 4 in the morning, and I was very happy with how the new team did with the first couple of storms. So 4 in the morning, it's rough, but they did a good job. So I thought-
Beautiful time of day.
Go to, it's kind of nice. Nobody else.
Very peaceful.
Yep.
Another thing we got done since we've seen you, Alan's going to have air conditioning next summer, so that's good news. Got that project wrapped up. Ashley is going to wrap up the public defender's office project next week.
Okay.
We got that office split, and pretty much she's painting, so it's just about done.
When you get that done, let us know. I'd like to go over and have you just show us what went on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Ashley, you've been in charge of that project. Is that correct or not?
It's your project.
It's my project, I guess.
She calls when she needs help, and that's it.
Yeah, I've been
So-
over there. I've gotten the help on the little things I didn't know how to do, but I've been over there just doing it.
And how's it
Yeah, down
been?
to painting and then doors. Is that it?
And some rubber base.
Rubber base, that's
Yeah.
it.
Good.
Mhm.
Cool, good.
So, it's been a good job. Not an easy project, but those little ones sometimes are the most time consuming. But it went well. Moving the jury commission down the hall, that's another little one that's a challenge. And that's Whitworth's project that he's working on right now. He's hanging drywall, and so we're hoping to have that wrapped up in the next week or 2. That one's a little bit of a challenge, so we don't disrupt the service that Tori's providing. So it's kind of a tricky one, but we're gonna get her done. So anyways, getting her out of there will help us a lot, getting started on the courtroom 218. We have our building permit and we're ready to go, so. McCammon Road and Bridge is getting a new floor this week. That's been long overdue. They should be done probably Monday. We're gonna run down there when they're done and wax it, and so they can get the furniture moved back in. And they should be in pretty good shape. So they're getting janitorial services from Ashley, and the new floor, the old floor was not, you couldn't clean that one, so I'm excited to have that one done.
I tried everything.
It's pretty beat up.
Mm-hmm.
Stairways, we have one more weekend and we'll have the stairways painted. Have that project done, so that'll be wonderful. We replaced the lighting on the front steps of the courthouse. I guess they haven't worked for 8 years. Unfortunately, as we're putting them up, water was coming through the light holes, and so we found that all of the overhangs have leaks. So we've replaced the roof on several buildings, but none of the overhangs were ever worked on. So they're actually the original copper roof up there, and they're leaking, all of them are leaking. So you'll see a roofer in the next couple of weeks patching those up. We want to get that done before we put the lighting on the new logo. That'd just be good timing. So if you wonder what's going on there, that's what's happening. We also have water damage on the front of the courthouse that we found. I think the window, I don't think they've been sealed for many years, and the water is going behind the terrazzo tile and has pushed the tiles off. So we're going to see a stucco guy here today, the next couple of days, and I am interested to see how they're going to fix it. They're broken. I'm not sure what they're going to be able to do, but
Was there more than just like the 1 or 2 tiles right here that were broken or pushed out?
as far as being pushed out, yes, but as far as being broken, no, there's several. I don't know if the right thing to do maybe is to take them off and put stucco in its place. But we'll have them look at it and see what they think. But I don't know how they're gonna fix what's broken. It's pushed out 2 or 3 inches now and ready to fall off the building, so
Have you seen that?
pretty interesting. I didn't know that was going on, but I know that all the windows need sealed up, so we'll get their opinion when they show up today. You'll see them there, put the scaffold up probably this afternoon. So. Another one, Microsoft project. Adam got us a desktop version or a online version to try out. We started with the bottom level. I think it's one of those things that once you try it, I don't know how we live without it. It's pretty cool, but I think we probably need to maybe move up a level or two. It doesn't have any financial information on it. It's more just like a timeline thing. It's a little time consuming getting started, but I think it's very valuable in figuring out your critical path and that kind of thing. I tried it first. I think we're going to pass it on to a few different people to see what they think of it. But I guess my opinion would be to probably upgrade it a little bit, and a little more bells and whistles, and see if we can. I think it'd be a great tool. So I want to let you know.
And is there a price on that for the upgrades and stuff?
Well, the online version, what we're using, is only $10 a month. So you can go plan. There's 3 different plans, and I think the most expensive one's like $40 or $50 a month. So it's not a big expense, but like I say, it's a little time consuming getting started. It's putting all the information in there, but it's very. I used Excel in the past, and it's kind of the same thing, but this is way better. It's like I say, once you see it, like, wow, how did I live without it?
Well, I'm an individual that believes, I mean, we sent you to the project meeting out in Chubbuck and stuff, and so
Yeah.
we got to utilize tools that make you effective and efficient on your job. And so
It really ties into that training. We talked about it quite a bit.
we need to do that.
They wondered how we were surviving without it too. They asked about it a few times. So
And you stood up with your S on your chest and says, I'm here.
my binder, it's full. Well, that's kind of what's been going on. I think a goal before we meet again is to get jury commission moved and get rolling on courtroom 218. All these little projects we need to get wrapped up so we can get the whole team on that courtroom.
Okay, only one question I have is the electrician truck. I don't like it in the parking lot over
Okay.
here.
Okay. So it is empty just for peace
Oh,
of
okay,
mind.
okay, that's
Yeah.
the tools I like.
Totally emptied it out.
Which truck? Sorry.
So the Ford utility truck.
Oh,
So
okay.
we got the van from the sheriff, and it has been in the shop ever since. I
Oh, really?
hope that it's ready to roll now. Getting license plates has actually been quite the challenge. You have to go through the state. It's really slow. But it had a couple of mechanical issues. Like hopefully it'll be rolling. But,
Well, just with winter, when people start pushing snow and stuff, it's in the middle of the parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking like the van and that truck, maybe move it over to Lander and park it over there, but
Well, do you use that truck at all?
yeah.
What are you utilizing it for?
Well, Whitworth drives that truck. Jeff drives the truck he's always had. Ashley and I share the other truck, and then the janitors use the Honda and hopefully the van. But
Okay.
since the van's been out, the janitor's been driving the Ford.
Okay,
So we're not always driving. We're not all driving the truck at the same time. So we're trying to share. So we're down, and we couldn't do that.
so I guess that's part of my question is, I don't want it just parked because we're paying rent on it or
Yeah.
lease on it every month.
Yeah.
So I want it utilized, but
Yeah.
if we're not utilizing it, do we need to have it? Where are we at? What are
Yeah.
we doing with the electrician? What's
Yeah.
all directions, so.
I feel like, I don't know, compared to say we're getting our money's worth out of it, I don't know. We're not putting that many miles on it. If we didn't have a vehicle, we'd be in trouble. We'd have to replace it with something. I don't know if I should have looked at more sheriff vehicles or not, but the van so far has been a bust, but hopefully it'll be up and rolling. But the
Okay.
janitors come in, like at 2, so they need 2 cars that are ready to go. So it's kind of an awkward time. I don't want these guys thinking they have to be back by 2, so the janitors can take the car and go.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an awkward thing we're trying to sort out. But with Jeff's truck, the plow's on that a lot, and you really don't want to drive that truck
No.
with the plow on it.
No, we need it
I
here.
feel like I wish we were using it more for sure, but I don't know how we would survive without it.
Like I say, I just was thinking, I don't want it just left out there, but I don't want it just used inappropriately,
Yeah,
Why are we spending, something that gets 15 miles a gallon compared to
sure.
one of
That's-
the old cars or something of
Yeah.
that nature to do the janitorial or,
Yeah.
it just,
I hope that the Honda car that's older and the van are the janitor cars. And then the truck that I've always driven and the Ford would be Ashley and Whitworth's car, and then leave Jeff's truck alone, and the plow being on it sometimes, so. But that's definitely a discussion or thought that we should look at.
okay. Just as I see it out there and winter hits,
Yeah.
I don't want it left right in the middle of the parking lot either where somebody else could run it. That's a tight parking
Oh,
lot.
yeah. What do you think about Lander? I think that's a good place to move a couple cars over there. That's a tight parking lot too, but.
It's a tight parking lot. There's conversation of getting rid of that facility,
Oh, yeah. If we ever bought something, maybe we could park things over in another spot too.
so
Um,
we'll have more discussion on it, think about it, look at things.
That van's about 20 feet long. It seems it's tough to park anywhere, so we'd have to figure out a good place for it to be. It's-
Well, and actually right out here, there are quite a few vacant spots
Okay.
that I think other people are parking in that aren't supposed to be parking in
Oh,
them.
okay.
That they're not judges, they're elected officials, so,
Oh,
and that's what those reserve spots are for.
yeah. Notice we have renters parking at Lander. I think the neighborhood is starting to use that parking lot.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that too.
Let's put up cables. Let's shut the parking lot off at night.
Makes it pretty tough to plow
Yeah.
when you show up and there's people.
No, put a cable up and lock them in. And it'll only take once.
Seth had mentioned he wanted to get rid of all his chains.
Well, yeah. Right.
All right,
All right.
thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
All right, Braden.
All right, Braden Clayson, Chief of Staff. I had a conversation with the Independence Day Celebration Committee this week. They had their first meeting trying to get organized for fireworks and everything next year. They are worried because there's no money in the line item for Independence Day. We had talked about it during budget, and I think it got added to the concert package,
It is.
the 150,000.
It didn't matter what amount, I don't think. We just put it in that. That's why we named it. The Bannock County events was when we had the conversation and put the 4th of July monies in there also.
Okay.
Problem we ran into when I was talking to Scott is he's gonna need all $2 million. In fact, when we closed out the concessions, remember we talked about getting rid of that 200,000 in the event center budget, but then we also talked about closing out the trust because those were all duplicated in budgeting. We're gonna have $89,000 that I'm gonna move from that trust into the Bannock County Events Fund, but the discussion was Scott's gonna need that for his concerts. So basically, we don't have an extra $150,000 laying around to fund 4th of July.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but I also disagree with Scott's concern about his cash flow. I think there'll be enough cash flow with sponsorships and other things to make up the difference.
So then the discussion will become budget authority.
Well, he's got budget authority to spend 150, because I thought that was the discussion during budget for
Yes.
the 4th of July.
Right.
Okay, so what am I missing on that then?
Well, the budget that Scott gave me for the Bannock County events doesn't have anywhere for $150,000 for the 4th of July. So I could take, so we've got, the
Right.
biggest part he's got entertainment costs of $1,130,000. I could take 150 out of there, throw it to 4th of July. But we're gonna have continuous cash flow, but continuous cash flow doesn't give us budget authority. So at some point, I'll have to open the budget for any unanticipated revenues to give him more budget authority if he's gonna need more
And
than
the
the
unanticipated
2 million.
revenues would be the donations from sponsorships.
Honestly, it's any revenue that we receive this fiscal year, because we didn't anticipate any revenue for FY '23. We put in the seed money,
Mhm.
and that's all we counted for.
But isn't that an enterprise fund, so that like ticket sales and stuff go into that too?
It does, but just because you generate revenue, that doesn't give you budget authority. That gives you cash, but you have to budget the use of those dollars when they come in. I didn't anticipate revenue in there, so yes, any money that comes in, we can open the budget as unanticipated, but you will have to go through that formal process, because,
Well, we can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, we got the seed money of $2 million to start with, so
so any money
halfway
that
through the
comes
year,
in-
we can do that, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Okay,
Yeah.
And I thought that was a conversation we
That was-
had
yes.
originally. That's why we changed the name of it.
Right.
And
Yep.
made sure it was all under the same umbrella so that
So we can do it that way.
we could cover it.
That was the
and
conversation.
So
He could go to work.
Yep,
in the
that was the
future, just a
conversation.
procedural question. If we say, okay, we're going to, and let's just use next year, we say, we're gonna give you spending authority of $2.5 million, even though there's only gonna be 2 million in there because we're anticipating revenue.
Yes, yeah.
That's the way to do
Yep,
that.
that's
Okay.
where, if you look at my budget book and you look at the revenue projections,
Yep,
you look at the other revenues, any of that will subsidize cash, because cash is our reserves, and then you've got the subsidy, and so that's how we get the balanced budget. Okay, so what I will do is, we will move 150,000 out of the entertainment cost line down into 4th of July, so that that's budgeted and taken care of. And then, as money comes in, we'll just watch, and we'll open the budget if we need to. Maybe we won't need to, and he'll stay within this.
yeah.
But there's been a common misunderstanding of enterprise funds. We had a meeting with another department where,
I'll raise my hand, it's
well,
a
but
misunderstanding.
they thought the same thing you did. Money comes in, so we can just spend it. And while that's kind of true, you still have to follow the budget that's approved by the board.
Gotcha.
So, next year we'll hopefully have a better idea of
One of
revenue.
these days it might sink into me.
But that's why you have me.
Yeah.
So, okay, so.
Yeah, this was part of the
That'll take-
discussion we had during
Yeah,
the budget.
it was.
That's why we changed the name and,
Yep.
and so the funds are there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that answers the question. I think we're
And,
good.
Yeah.
Okay, we will make that happen.
Okay, thank you.
but you can take it back, that those funds are there, but they're under the discretion of Scott.
Oh, the 4th of July?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, they can't just go start spending money and then tell Scott,
Sure.
pay for this.
Right.
Scott's got to be involved with the decision made on.
And he was in the
spend.
meeting this week too.
Okay,
so-
I just
Yep,
so everybody's on the same page.
yep. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we don't have a memo on the travel?
No, it was in the packet, is it not on there?
Bannock County Board of Governors. Yeah, it's here, okay.
Okay.
Question with that.
Nope. Mr. Chair, make a motion that we approve and authorize sending the memo on travel.
It didn't.
We have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then I would like to make a motion that we present Commissioner Huff's name to the Pocatello Development Authority to be a member of that board and remove Commissioner Tubby from that motion, or from that board. Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Shanda.
Good morning, Commissioner. Shanda Crystal, Purchasing and Economic Analyst. I have 2 items before the board today. Again, just having that update on the Safety and Assessment Center, just in case there was anything that needed to be discussed. Perfect. And the second one is the procurement update. There's not a lot of adjustments that we had. We had a big push last week. This is just a couple ones on the concert production services. That is moving forward, and the draft has been to the event center for review and should be before the board on Tuesday for review and to move forward with that project as well. The detention center, the information has been submitted to the newspaper to be posted the next couple weeks. So that one is moving right along, and the sheriff has put together his evaluation team, which is a great cross-section of a couple different departments and then key players in his department as well. So that one is moving along just as planned. The aerial imagery is next. We did receive one question, and we have submitted a response. That addendum will be sent out on Friday. We do have quite a bit of interest in that one, so Heather is excited with how that one is moving forward, and we'll just wait and see how many submittals we'll actually get on that. The last update I have is just a general one. When we initially were looking at purchasing an electronic system to do our bidding in, we were looking at 3 different systems, and we chose Bonfire to go with. Bonfire has since purchased one of the other ones that we were looking at, so I was kind of excited about that. Demand Star is the company's name that they bought. So then as they merge those two together, we're going to have access to all of anybody that is registered with Demand Star. So we'll have access to all of their people that are registered there, as well as any solicitations and things like that that they have posted. So that just grows Bonfire's community, and I'm excited for the transition there. We won't change anything, right? We're still with Bonfire, but we just have more access through it. So I was excited to let you know that. But other than that, unless you have any questions for me.
Real quick, what's the update on the sewer system with the wellness complex?
So I didn't get one this week. Last I knew that they were still moving forward as planned. The snow with a lot of our project had to put a little bit of pause on things, but that the materials had arrived, and that they will work forward just as quickly as weather will allow, but I don't have a more specific one than that.
And is that kind of the same status for the museum roof as well?
Right, so they should be back at it this week. It was last I knew as they had started back up.
Okay.
But then I did see, I think next week there's a storm, like Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. So I'm hoping maybe that they can hurry quick and get it done in between the two. But they should be back at that one. And the liner on the landfill, those are the 3 weather ones that we're watching, and that one should have been picked back up as well.
Do you know if they got back at it this week, or is the liner still on hold? Because they didn't have any more snow up there this week, have they?
Right. So I did assume that they were back, but then with Kyle being out in training, I have not heard back. For sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anything else? With that being said, we'll meet at 1 o'clock for the 5th District meeting. What's that? No, I pulled it off.